Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to try to do a different kind of pie, soap pie, using this slice mold here. But first things first, so we're going to do the embeds for it. I would like a bit of special piping with some embeds on top and so forth. So I'm going to cut down some clear melt and pour. I'm going to be tinting white. I actually always buy the transparent one because with transparent melt and pour you can make the more vibrant colors, and if you need a pastel color you can still add titanium dioxide to it. It's not a problem at all. I like to cut it in smaller pieces so it melts quicker. The only thing you have to be careful with melt and pour is that you don't overheat it, because otherwise the soap will sweat more and will not be such a good quality. Okay, so this one goes onto the double boiler now. I like to use a double boiler because it's a gentle type of heating. These are the molds that we are going to use to make the embeds. These are Macaron mold. You can see there's just one side, so I have to do the filling separately. These are little chocolate bars. I think they're so cute, and I'm using them as well for my chocolate cupcakes, soap cupcakes. And then these brambleberry mini round mold, they have 3 different sizes, and these come from Silicon Mart. That's an Italian company, you know. I'm Italian too, by the way. I would like to do a cake that is white chocolate and like berry, raspberry, strawberry kind of color. So in here we have now this super sparkly, I don't know if you can see, it's a kind of a sparkly. I ended up not using titanium dioxide, but instead using Arctic White Mica from Brambleberry. I'm gonna put the link in the description box. So I'm gonna start with the embeds that are going to be like the white parts. This is like the chocolate bars and the balls. And let's see if I make a mess, like I usually do. If you know Karen from Eden Secret, like she pours, I'm always very amazed. She's like a surgeon. You know, she's like so precise. Me, not at all. But you know, it's not a big deal because even if it overflows, then you can still correct it once it's hardened. And as these molds are quite small, the cavities are small and shallow, so it doesn't need a long time to set, maybe 15 minutes, and then you can feel it once it's hard to the touch and cool, then you can just pop it out. And now we're gonna pour the macarons, and I have here some melt and pour, and this is the color that I was looking for, that I was aiming for. So as you can see, it's completely hard now. It's time to unmold. Let's see how this turned out. The little chocolate bars, a little sparkly, you know, a little bit unrealistic, but it's not important, right? Let's see how the little balls turned out. Like chocolate truffles or something like that. You can see that you mold pretty easy. You just push it out and then you have a beautiful round shape. Good, so that's it for the balls. Now the macarons. So of course, as I said, this is just 1/2 of the macaron. Okay, so I have here the melt and pour, just a usual regular pipette of plastic, and I want to see if this will work. And of course we're going to add a little glitter. So the truffles are ready. Okay, so now regarding the filling of the macarons, I have melt and pour soap, white soap here. And then we want to sandwich it So one layer, you make sure one layer is there and holds the next one. So for fragrance this time I'm gonna change it up a little bit, and I'm gonna use a fragrance I discovered recently. It's called Sweet Almond and Macaron from Scent Perfique in the UK. So I'm gonna use 65 grams. And I don't need a scale since I have the milliliter marks here. That's for fragrance. Now color. I want to do a mixture of 2 colors, and we are waiting now because the lye water is cooling down. I have Hollywood pink that I used for the embeds before, and the other one is pink Vibrance, which is a little lighter. So with the combination of these two, I want to attempt to make like a berry kind of nice color. I'm using the plastic measuring spoon because everything on metal that goes on the table makes such a noise, and it sounds so terribly dramatic on camera as opposed to real life. Like when I hit something with the table, it sounds terrible. This is, by the way, the stick blender I'm using. It's a Bosch. That's a German brand. Germans are very good for everything what is technical, machines, cars and so forth. And the good thing is that you can easily remove it. It goes like very, very smooth. Although I know on camera it sounds like I'm loading a machine gun, you know. But it's actually very silent, and it's really, really good. I love it. Good, so the lye water and the oils are at about 31 degrees Celsius. Fahrenheit it will be 88. The reason why I'm soaping a little bit cooler is because this fragrance oil is not very patient, yeah? So it's moving quite fast. I'm gonna add the lye water to the oils. And I added some sodium lactate to the lye water to make unmolding easier. Okay, so this is just going to be one color. So this is Hollywood pink. And I'm going to be adding a little bit of pink Vibrance. And here I just have some white micas in case I need to tone it down a little bit. You never know, huh? Okay, I like the color very much. Fragrance oil is already here. I'm just gonna mix it in by hand. It really does smell amazing, I have to say. Here's the mold. I hope you can see. And I move rather quick because, as I said, this fragrance oil is not waiting. And we're back tomorrow. So we are going to be unmolding these slices now and see how they come out. I think they should be okay. And I like to stretch the mold around the soap a little bit to see that it releases easily, or to see whether or not it sticks to the sides. So it seems to be okay. You can also hear when the soap releases. I like to use it the other way around, like to have the smooth edges on top, even though of course it takes a step more because you have to do the piping separately. You want to do the piping the next day, but I think it's totally worth extra work instead of having, just gonna show you, instead of having the pie this way around, you know, where you can see that this is actually the bottom, you know, so it's much nicer to have it this way around. It has a little marbled look, which is kind of okay, I think, you know, so let's see. Going to be preparing the piping tip, cutting an edge out, and then I have the tips in here so I can easily store them and see what I have without having to go through, you know. So I'm gonna be using a French star, because why not? And then put it in a container. And it will not leak out from the bottom. Alright, so the mixture is about 50 degrees Celsius or 122. We want it to be not so cold because of the piping consistency. This is just piping, so we want to be able to do it pretty quick. So I'm gonna add the lye water to the oils. And then mix. Alright, we're gonna add titanium dioxide mixed with water. And this Hollywood pink. Okay, we need it to be a little bit more pink. Yeah, that's good. I like this color. And what you want to do, it's like stirring occasionally, just making sure that you don't miss the point where it's ready to go, because this goes pretty quickly. Like, let's say you want to do your dishes, and then you come back and it's rock hard, and then you cannot do it. You cannot do anything with it, and that's a pity, you know. So you just keep a close eye. So I feel like we are almost there. So I think we're gonna, yeah, it looks quite good. You can see how it holds a shape. But since the embeds are quite heavy, we want it to be a little thicker than usual, without going overboard, because otherwise, if you can't get it out of the piping bag anymore, it's gonna be difficult. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna transfer it to the piping bag, and then we can decide whether or not we wait a little longer. So this looks quite good to me. But you never know, you know, sometimes I want to start piping and then I see that it is too runny, and then you have to wait and, you know, but with the time you get a little more practice, it's going to be easier. Okay, so let's start by putting a dollop in the middle. And then, why not something like this? make a big one, like so. I hope you can see. So now I'm going back and I'm going to add a second one on top to give it a bit more body, you know. Alright, let's add some glitter. Right, now for the decoration. And here again I'm going to remove my gloves because I don't have any control about embeds if I have my gloves on. So we have different types of things that we want to introduce here. So I'm gonna just see how this could be. Alright, so that looks quite good, I have to say. Let's have a look. So this is the next day. You can see the colors turned out a little bit more vibrant after one day. And this is it, the white chocolate and raspberry cake. I hope you enjoyed this video and see you around very soon for another one. Bye bye!